that in the pit to try and lock up RNA and get the kill. The Copenhagen Wolves did very well to get themselves kills, but I actually feel like the Millennium positioning was even better. We see a teleport plus Homeguard from Youngbuck. They're going to grab themselves as Baron. There are members of Millennium alive. I don't know if it's going to be up quickly enough. Here comes RNA with Smite.
He has gonna come in there. He's got Kraton with him. Have they got enough to keep him at bay? The Baron almost taking down 4,000 hit points already. They are too late to get involved in this one. They have to back away, but the bottom inhibitor turret is taking a lot of damage from minions. We are going to see that game cleared out by Kautard just about, and the Baron was taken by the Wolves. Now Millennium are in desperate trouble. A 9,000 gold differential behind, and the Baron. This is dangerous times.
The team fight that Millennium needed to win just happened. Now, Kautard was the one that started that previous Baron engage. He threw the explosive cast onto Aranea, splitting up the Millennium team, and Solar Flare was thrown on his head as well. That is partially the reason that Millennium could run down the Wolves for so long and continue that extended chase all the way around to the red buff, because the Wolves simply used their ultimates too quickly. You have to give props to the Copenhagen Wolves though. Youngbuck gets himself alive, throws down that Pillar of Ice, survives that last auto attack, and as it stands with a 10,000 gold lead and Baron, those fights are going to be way more difficult for Millennium to get away with.
Well, right now we see the Wolves grouping up and pushing down that mid lane as expected. They're going to keep on pushing, and it's going to be dangerous times for Millennium. They've got to make sure they don't get caught out. Kraton, I was just mentioning that, pushing up a little too deep in that mid lane, so just going to back away from that one. See where they go with this. They're going to try and push their way in. You know, you talked about the siege comp, and this is maybe the time where Millennium just can't stop them.
No, I don't think Millennium can, unless the Copenhagen Wolves overextend. The key for Millennium to defend this siege, this impending siege, is to land a good chum in the waters or to jump on Forgiven. If Forgiven is in front of either Lee Sin or Trundle, that is the moment to just jump in there and go. On the other side of the coin, as long as the Copenhagen Wolves just keep spamming out those barrels and throwing down the Pillars of Ice, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. Youngbuck's actually just going to tank this turret up, and it actually goes down incredibly quickly.
And there's the turret going down. That's 48 minutes into the game. It's nearly a 10,000 gold lead, and Copenhagen Wolves sieging, and if Kevin stands on barrels like that, it's not going to last too long.
It's actually quite interesting. That was a barrel that is dropping him fairly low. When you consider the amount of stats that Kevin has got tank-wise, the rest of the Copenhagen Wolves are now trying to push in, and we see as much wave clear as possible coming from Kraton. That's a great culling.
Yeah, that's taking Kevin down to half health. He's going to have to get blown to the side as well. Explosive cast used out. Copenhagen Wolves sieging down this turret. It's going to drop. They catch the Solar Flare and the Zenith Blade, and J Reed completely locked up and taken down by the Wolves. They're going to take the inhibitor down. They could maybe push for the win.
They've got enough members to do so. I don't think they will. It's a little bit risky. What I liked about the Wolves' positioning in that fight is they used the cast to get rid of Millennium. Their goal was the tower and the inhibitor. They didn't want to fight, they just wanted to push Millennium away, and Forgiven immediately got himself on the tower. So very good play from them. They're going to regen thanks to Baron, go to the top inner turret, and there's a big minion wave. So by the time they get to the inhibitor turret, I almost expect their ultimates to be available, and Copenhagen Wolves can repeat the same process.
That top inner turret's going to go down. No time at all. They, as you mentioned, going to repeat that process. The Baron buff has plenty of time still left on it as well. They are going to shove on the culling once again, being used in it. Again, Kevin has taken all that front-loaded damage, but I just don't think he's tanking up anymore. That Baron buff doing and work on towards him. You can see Aranea trying to keep him away. Explosive cast once again used, but that turret is almost gone.
Yeah, the cast was maybe a tiny bit late there. The rest of the minion wave had already died. It's not going to stop the Wolves. They've got themselves a turret. Now we'll see if the Pillar of Ice will be used to catch anybody out of position. Kevin is standing there. Kevin has done nothing in 2 tower defenses because he cannot. The rest of his team simply cannot survive long enough if he throws himself in. And all of a sudden, Copenhagen Wolves grab themselves 2 inhibitors.
Perfect timing there. Baron buff just about to wear off. They take themselves 2 inhibitor turrets and the inhibitor as well as those inner turrets. And they are not done yet. The time Millennium go back, they go back to try and keep themselves topped off. Copenhagen Wolves thinking we can take advantage, and look at the culling just shredding J Reed out.
That is an actual culling. It is not massaging J Reed. He's going to force him away. Now, thanks to catching every single bullet, the rest of Millennium have to play a little carefully. Tibbers, the Flash Tibbers engage is not there, and that's really the only form of initiation. Yes, you can rely on a cocoon or diving in, but we haven't seen J Reed's Tibbers being super impactful Copenhagen will just carry on poking. There's a solar flare.
Solar flare goes down, but it's going to be explosive. Cast Kraton just blown away, but all they're doing is buying time. Flash Timbers comes in from J-Ree. He's going to pay the price there. He will go down to Coutard. Coutard's going to force him back. You see Curb coming in. Sonya's hourglass is going to be enough to try and chase on towards him. He has to back away. Kevin's got nothing left. Kraton does take the limited down, but it's simply a support for a support trade. And the Copenhagen Wolves waltz away.
Now the Copenhagen Wolves bought enough time for Super Minions to be bashing away on those Nexus turrets. They're going to steal away everything in the jungle and almost grabbing themselves a turret thanks to their minions. They're also going to get a dragon and then backing away. That Mercurial Scimitar allowed Forgiven to reposition. He got caught by Tibbers, he immediately cleansed that stun, dashed away thanks to the relentless pursuit, and then just laid the smack down onto Millennium. Copenhagen Wolves are in a commanding position. They just need to regroup, shop, get back in that middle lane, wait for Super Minions, and they can grab a victory here.
And that may well be what they do. You can see a Guardian Angel's being picked up by Coutard. He's knowing that he's the focus target, so he's decided, you know what, I'm just going to play it safe. You see regen coming out, everything on amazing. Youngbuck tanky. We did see a couple of shots coming in from Kraton. Of course, Youngbuck was focused on pretty heavily. Unlimited did go down. Kraton does do a lot of damage right now. He's gone and switched. He's gone for those 6-item build. No need for boots anymore. Got that Zephyr Blade in.
The problem is it's too late. Yes, great, you've got a Caitlyn that can do an incredible amount of damage, but there are so many targets between the Caitlyn and a tower or an inhibitor for Millennium that Creatine is just going to get shut down. And because of the fact that there's very few people to peel and protect for him, he's not going to do anything. You've got Curb, Fizz and Elise are not the greatest at protecting an AD carry, whereas a Lee Sin, a Trundle, a Leona, every single one of them has some form or another of keeping Forgiven safe and alive in team fights.
Copenhagen Wolves are focusing on this final target. They've got Super Minions pushing in the top and the bottom, and why not just start to siege this mid lane turret. It's already down to half health. Wow, Explosive Cascou's very early on there. Just throwing it out, seeing if they can blow someone back. They're not going to find the target. Doesn't mean it's going to have to wait just 20-30 seconds before it comes back up.
Some of those explosive casks have been a little bit questionable from Coutard, but because they're so far ahead, it seems to be working. Culling, once again, not connecting as effectively as we've seen in the past. And Youngbuck, he's got so many tanky stats, he can just clear away those Yordle snap traps. Wait until the Super Minions are on the Nexus, they are on the inhibitor rather, on the bottom lane. Now the Copenhagen Wolves need to start, use that Solar Flare, go in for the fight because the minions are working in their favor.
Instead they're going to buy that time. They realize that RNA and Kraton are busy and they're just going straight for that Baron. This Baron will go down before Millennium even react to it. They can't chase it out, they're giving it them for free.
Yeah, there's nothing the Millennium can do. They don't have the vision, they don't have the ability to leave their base. When you've got that many towers down and the Nexus turret's so low, if Millennium step out, it just opens them for instant defeat. Right? Copenhagen Wolves grab the second Baron of the game. They've had control of Dragon for the last 30 minutes, and we are approaching the 55-minute mark. It's getting to arguably the longest game in the LCS. I believe we're actually about to approach that.
Definitely getting there, and we knew it would be. Called those average stats early on. Barrels coming into Kurt there, having to quickly play for Trickster away, and Copenhagen Wolves doing it by the numbers, going back down towards them exposed inhibitors.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not the explosive cast can work in favor of the Wolves this time. Coutard's been throwing them, in my opinion, too early. Drops it down, that's a lot of damage on Curb. This should allow them to get the inhibitor, so that was a great cast, and they catch 3!
Great solar flare, J-Ree caught, locked up there, he's going to go down, he's going to be the focus next. It will be on towards Kevin, the tankiest member of the team, just can't fight them off there. Youngbuck's going to get caught out, Earth pops up, they do get a kill down on this, Kraton that takes it, but the barrels continue to roll out. I'm not sure Millennium can chase.
No, I don't think Millennium want to chase either. Youngbuck actually got burst down so quickly, he didn't even get to use Subjugate. If he does respawn in the next, well, when he respawns rather, he does have teleport and those home guard boots to join a fight. When you see Curb going in, that's a little brave.
Oh, very brave. Went in and thought seconds of it, and they're just quickly playful tricks in the way, trying to bait out some more abilities there. Copenhagen Wolves are going to back off. They have got that Baron. They are not going yet, though. They're just sticking around. Remember, they got regen with that Baron buff on. They're just going to shove those Super Minions back down Millennium's throat.
Yeah, I think the Copenhagen Wolves have to play the map a little bit more efficiently now because they've got Super Minions in the bottom lane and the top lane inhibitor is going to respawn soon enough. I think the Wolves should regroup. Once they get Youngbuck back, go back to the top lane, grab the inhibitor. They've caught Curb.
Curb caught out, going too deep there. Got a little bit too greedy. And that was exactly what he deserved, honestly. Unlimited using that solar flare, Forgiven using the call-in. Quick death for the mid laner, who has been fairly ineffective on Fizz so far, honestly. His Copenhagen Wolves have played it right. They played him out of this game in that mid lane with the 2v1 matchup, and now the siege is on.
Yeah,
explosive
great.
cask.
And we'll see if the Wolves can get anything from it. That's the question. One cask allowed one auto attack on the turret. The rest of the Wolves are now sitting grouped up. We do have a teleport available, so we'll see if Young Buck's using it. He's channeling it. We'll see where he comes in, straight under the tower. This is going to be the third inhibitor.
Third inhibitor turret goes down. Inhibitor will follow. Top one has yet to respawn, but it is due. We do see the Copenhagen Wolves rotating, expecting it to be there, but it wasn't. Nexus turret, well, they are both regen to full health, but I don't think that's going to last too long. Millennium pulling up one last valiant attempt here. Tibbers is available, but Solar Flare catches straight onto Jadery. Everybody piles in. Tibbers came down, but wow, he just did nothing. And the Copenhagen Wolves melt their way through the rest of the Millennium tanky front line. Greaton has to flash away. 90 caliber nets on towards the fountain, and it's the Copenhagen Wolves that take down Millennium in the first game